exactly what he's supposed to do on that blitz read, and now they're downfield, poised to score again.
Houston first down, 15-yard line. White. No, that's Jeffries that has it. Inside of the 10. And it is Dimry again, regardless of which side of the field Warren Moon looks for him.
Well, you know what's interesting is that now Givens is coming back in the game. Oh, good. Good to see that.
A strained neck. Hopefully he will return. Well, that hope has been fulfilled for the Oilers.
Getting a little rub down. That's kind of a stinger right there between. I'm going to sound like a physiologist here, but right between the trapezius and the ears, where you get those stingers in the neck. Trust me, I've had a few.
I know where the ear is. I'm not sure the trapezius. Second down. Here is White. Maybe a yard for Lorenzo. Ron Holmes makes the tackle. Through 3/4 of play, there is a 100-yard discrepancy in total offense. Houston 351 yards, Denver 251 yards. The ball at the 7-yard line.
Interestingly enough, last time when they're in this situation, you can see Kevin Gilbride looking over his plays, what it is he wants to do. They did not go for the first time last time. They threw the touchdown on the swirl route to Curtis Duncan on the right side of the field. I would anticipate seeing some crossing routes from the inside receivers, Hill and Givens.
Now, Dimry is the right corner, so he is to the left of the offense for Houston. Moon looking right, comes back left, throws over the middle, it's dropped. Jeffries couldn't hold on to it, and the field goal team will come out.
That's the second costly drop for Haywood Jeffries. You know, we've really been lauding him over the fact that early in the game he had the big catch and he had 100 catches, but this is very catchable. The offensive line, great protection. Moon seeing the entire field. He hits him right. No one touches anything. Dimry's completely behind him. Very catchable ball. That should have been a touchdown for the Oilers.
Al Del Greco from the 15, an attempt of 25. He missed officially from the 33 on the earlier one. Montgomery with the hold. It's perfect. So Houston adds 3 more. Their total is now 24-16.
Point lead for the Houston Oilers. Let's go back to Todd Christensen and Charlie Jones, our American match commentators.
The scenic wonders of Colorado. I'm not sure it gets much better than this as we come back to Mile High Stadium. Del Greco kicking off. Alton Montgomery will down it in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20.
I still think that this is a very catchable ball by Haywood Jeffries, but in fairness to him, watch the right hand of Charles Dimry right at the last minute is going to come in and pin his elbow back. Right there, you can see the hand is in there. Still, I know that he probably says to himself that he feels that he could have had that one back. Interesting point, those two that are sitting right there, Drew Hill and Haywood Jeffries, combined for 190 catches this season. That is a record for 2 receivers in one National Football League season.
Yes, but let us also point out that Charles Dimry did make the play because they've been picking on him, and perhaps we have too. Denver first down for their own 20-yard line. Elway with a middle screen to Sewell. And Sewell to the 29-yard line. It'll be second down and 1. Bubba McDowell with the tackle. NFC divisional playoff earlier today. Washington defeated Atlanta by a score of 24-7. And tomorrow on NBC, of course, Kansas City at Buffalo, starting at 12 noon Eastern time as the divisional playoffs continue.
I remember last year at this time, and everybody said, oh, the only team that can beat Buffalo up there is Kansas City. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Here is Steve Sewell. Sewell finding an opening to the 41-yard line, and he is pumped. A gain of 12, first down.
This is probably
Orlando makes the tackle.
I was going to say Steve Sewell is having arguably one of the best games of his career, particularly running. He gets some good downfield blocks, but he also shows some sweet feet. And I might mention for those aficionados who keep track of such things, his number 30 is the same as his head coach, Dan Reeves, wore for the Dallas Cowboys oh so long ago.
Jeff is the injured player. And we'll step aside for just a moment. Houston leads it 24-16. Ray Childress out with a bad back, replaced by Jeff Ahm. He just comes out limping on a bad knee. He's replaced by number 94, Glenn Montgomery.
Jim Eddy told us he would only be used in an emergency situation. Well, time to dial 911. There he is.
Denver first down their own 41-yard line. Gaston Green, couple of yards to the 43. It'll be second down and 8. 11 minutes and 42 seconds left to go. 24-16 Houston leads. There's Jim Eddy. I think when it was Tuesday, he is more fun to talk with because he gets. I asked him, I said, you know, I know you're ready up for this game. I haven't slept for a week. I'm so ready.
Very animated. You know, if the thing doesn't work out with the defensive coordinator, he can always flag planes in for one of the airlines.
Second down. Elway now pressure from the backside. His hit as he throws it is incomplete. William Fuller got him.
Well, William Fuller, known as the Fuller Rush Man, we haven't heard much from him today. Ken Lanier has done an outstanding job. And William Fuller is one of those people who's very charitable. 15 sacks, led the AFC. Very interesting human interest story.
And what he does, he donates $500 on every sack to the Juvenile Diabetes Society, helping out the young kids with diabetes. And he has a lot of corporate involvement so that a lot of companies also donate money. He has raised this season $97,500 to battle juvenile diabetes.
That's terrific.
That is. Vance Johnson first down. A 3rd and 8 conversion, a gain of 10. Have you noticed something? A lot of flags in the first half, very few flags in the second half. Everybody now
I
is
noticed
playing
number
football.
57, Lamar Lathan. Sure, he's a middle linebacker, and I know he's a terrific athlete, but there's no way that he should be the guy underneath on top of Vance Johnson. They went to his zone coverage and assumed that Lathan could stay with him in that half of the field, and they were wrong.
Gaston Green to the 44-yard line. Second down and 7. Darrell Lewis, the rookie from Arizona, making the tackle.
And interesting, we're seeing some different numbers now. Darrell Lewis coming into the game. They're set. Both teams are having to go with some different people. You see right there, Vance Johnson, a little bit of a hamstring problem. Trying to stretch that out. That always happens to the fast guys like us.
Like us?
I'm sorry.
I'm not going to let that one go by.
Yeah, I
Speaking of fast guys, Gaston Green, 17 carries, 59 yards rushing.
Slowed down a little bit in the second half. The Houston Oilers have done a better job against the run.
Little swing right side. And Gaston is going to pick up a yard. That'll be about it. Al Smith makes the tackle.
Al Smith showing a lot of range from his middle linebacker position, and also give Darrell Lewis, number 29, credit. He is one of the 4 young guns that are in the secondary for the Houston Oilers. Their 4 reserve defensive backs are all rookies. And Jim Eddy, the defensive coordinator, told us that yes, that they have improved, but they have really taken a baptism of fire because they've been burned a couple of times.
Barry Johnson, the rookie free agent, activated for this game as a wide receiver. He is the 5th wide receiver. He is in this offensive set of 3rd down and 6. Denver 5 of 8, 3rd down conversion. Elway can run for it. If he can get around the corner, he cannot get around the corner as he is pulled down by Lamar Lathan.
Now, Lamar Lathan is in what's called a spy position. He's the middle linebacker. He has legitimate 4.5 speed, and you saw it right there. How many times do you ever see a linebacker run down John Elway? Interestingly enough, now with 4th and 4, you saw Dan Reeves point and say, we're going for it.
The margin is 8 points, 24-16. They have to score twice.
This will be interesting to see. John Elway in the past has pooch kicked from this formation. So let's take a look and see what happens with the shotgun here.
It's there, first down. Still going, Michael Young. Out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
The protection for Elway was outstanding, and this enables Young to get open. But watch at the end of the play. Bo Orlando will knock off Steve Jackson, who has the tackle. They hit one another, and now Young is able to get up the field with some extra yardage to the 15-yard line.
26 yards on the play.
Actually got away with a little bit of a hold there. This is a swirl. Ooh, look at this. This is a real
This is a battle.
So much for the Chuck rule, huh? Comes out on that swirl route. Spins off. When we come back, the Denver Broncos are going to have the ball on the 15-yard line heading in.
William Fuller got a finger in the eye. That was the reason for the injury timeout.
Interestingly enough, William Fuller was part of the trade. You can see Ricky Nattiel trying to walk it off there a little bit.
He came out limping.
Of an ankle sprain. William Fuller was somebody who was in that trade 5 years ago that had the quarterback for the Rams, Jim Everett, traded from Houston to the Rams. He was just kind of a throw-in into the deal. And I think really, if you look at it, Houston might have got the best of that this first Pro Bowl season.
Here again is that little shuttle pass underneath to Sharp to the 8-yard line. Goes for 7. Lamar Lathan with the tackle. That has been an effective play.
As I say, under the heading, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think this is about the 4th time they've tried that. 3 times it's been complete, and of course the other time Sharp dropped it. He has Al Smith coming to the left, going out of position, and when he cuts back to the middle, there's some grass for him to get some yardage.
And Fuller comes back into the lineup. 2nd down and 3. The ball at the 8-yard line of Houston. Sharp. Steve Sewell to the 1-yard line. And he has done everything, hasn't he?
Well, the Denver Broncos love to trap, and that's exactly what they did. Vance Johnson now implores the crowd to get into the game. The Denver Broncos now going with a 3 tight set. Trap in the middle. Right here, they do a good job trapping Al Smith. You can see coming off of there, Wydell traps him. He gets in on the tackle, but not until Sewell has a 9-yard gain to the 1-yard line.
And they'll have that same offensive set that Greg Lewis scored on earlier with Keith Trader, the linebackers, the fullback, and the lead blocker. He's number 54. From a yard away. Touchdown, Denver. Denver putting together an 80-yard touchdown drive. Greg Lewis scores a touchdown. He's had a pretty good day. 3 carries, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns. Here's the extra point. It's good. Denver pulls within 1. Houston 24. Denver 23. 6:53 left to go in the ball game. We'll be back with a kickoff in a moment. Mascot Sun Star Christine Padilla is up. 14-year-old Appaloosa horse.
There's
the mascot at a celebration.
Earlier in the week when I had a chance to chat with Greg Lewis, even though he is a rookie, he looked me right in the eye and he said, Todd, he said, this could be my only chance at this. You never know in this business. This could be it for me in terms of an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. He's making the most of it today with 2 touchdown runs.
That drive consumes 7 minutes and 32 seconds. 6:53 left. Houston leads by 1, high and short. Taken at the 20-yard line by Pinkett. And down at the 27.
Unlike the rest of the Denver Broncos, he's asking for quiet. Sheesh.
He's looking right at the south stands.
And
the notorious south stands.
Yeah, I was going to say the south stands, much like the notorious dog pound in both Cleveland and the Arsenio Hall show, they can get rabid, but John wants them quiet. Now they're going to get loud.
Moving throwing underneath the covers to Lorenzo Wyche. 36-yard line, 2nd down and 1.
The last time they began this drive, they did the exact same thing. They threw a short pass to Lorenzo Wyche, got the crowd out of the game. Now they come up with 2nd and short. Warren Moon is really playing a heady game today, not just making the good throws, but he's thinking out there, and he's doing some things mentally that are creating the success for the Oilers.
Houston at their own 36-yard line. 2nd and 1. And here is White to the outside, 1st down. And down at the 41-yard line, so he'll pick up 5 in the 1st down as Atwater and Demry make the play.
Only the Houston Oilers have stopped the Houston Oilers today. The 2 drop passes that ended up with a missed field goal and a made field goal, and of course the interception to Atwater. Jack Pardee excited with the way his offense is going. He knows that Warren Moon continues to do the job. And for the Denver Broncos, they have to stop the Houston Oilers here. They cannot let them take time off the clock, go down and kick a field goal. Within this series here, the Broncos have to do something.
1st down at their own 41-yard line. And Houston moves. Flags go flying. It'll be a false start. It'll be 1st and 15.
False start. Prior to the snap. 63 offense. Still 1st down.
The reason for the 1-point margin, in case you have not been with us throughout the ball game, the missed extra point with 1:17 to go in the 1st quarter.
It's very surprising, Charlie, while you're mentioning that. Mike Munchak, that's about his 3rd penalty where that is concerned, and that's just, you know, you wouldn't expect that from a 7-time Pro Bowler.
1st and 15. Here's White. Power running to the 45-yard line.
And I love it when you're pressured. I really do. You said earlier the fact that in the offseason he worked to make his legs stronger so that come this time of the year he was going to be able to go. Excellent call by the Houston Oilers. Watch the legs churning. First hit there at the 39-yard line. Now watch as he turns his legs where he ends up. That's another 6 yards just by driving hard.
Denver has taken a timeout. We can go back to when I started the story a moment ago, and that being the missed extra point of the Denver Broncos. Wydell, the center, who is normally just a snapper, but with the thigh injury to Keith Karts, Wydell starting, and as Todd pointed out, with that tape on his hands, the holder Gary Kubiak and the kicker David Treadwell.
Well, how many times have we seen that happen in a game where that becomes pivotal? You don't think about it at the time.
And here's a look at it. The snap is high. When Kubiak brings it down, he drops it for a moment. And then the laces are to the kicker side. They hate to see the laces. He's still got to kick under.
That's exactly. He still has to kick up, and he's the one that hooked it. You know, when we look at it the 2nd time, the snap really wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't. You're right.
Lorenzo White now having an outstanding game. 14 carries for 65 yards. Also 5 catches for 35. 100 total yards in the game.
Now he's over 100 total yards, and he continues to roll inside the 45 of Denver. Randy Robbins with the tackle, and the clock continues to move. 4.5 minutes left. Houston leading by 1.
And that man right there has to feel awfully good about himself. Here they have arguably the best passing offense in the league, and now it's coming down to crunch time. And where do they go? They go to number 44.
And Mike Kroll, the rookie, who has been named the Associated Press Defensive Rookie of the Year, is the injured player. Clock is stopped with 4:29 left to go in the ballgame. Houston 24, Denver 23, and tomorrow we look for a ball game that could well equal this. O.J. Simpson will be there in the pregame show on NFL Live with a feature on Bruce Smith. And the ball game, Kansas City and Buffalo, as the divisional playoffs continue on NBC. That'll be at 12 noon Eastern time tomorrow.
Interestingly enough,
oh, look at the weather. The weather in Buffalo, always a factor. Temperature 32 degrees. That sounds like here, possible flurry.
I was about to say, Charlie, that interestingly enough, even though Christian Okoye has been a non-factor for the Kansas City Chiefs down the stretch, a man who has come into the breach has been Barry Word, who now has 2 straight 100-yard gains heading into this Buffalo game.
Gary Kubiak, the backup quarterback, and also the holder on extra points and field goals.
You know, we've seen that. I remember reading one time Paul Hornung said that he would rather kick the laces than kick the side of the ball, because when you kick the side of the ball where the air hole is, where you pump that thing in, that can make the thing slide one way or another. So the more we look at that replay, the more I think that was certainly makeable for Treadwell.
So Mike Kroll now comes out for a play.
Mike Kroll, as you mentioned, you know, 4th pick overall, had 10 sacks, defensive rookie of the year. Interestingly enough, today, the team that leads the AFC in sacks, second in the NFL, the Denver Broncos, do not have a single sack today.
And with Kroll coming out for at least a play that is not a charged timeout, this pass is complete to Jeffries. They are going to spot it at the 39-yard line, so it'll go for 6. The clock continues to move inside of 4 minutes remaining. Of course, Houston wanting to accomplish 2 things here. They, of course, would like to score again, but I think more importantly, they want to keep that clock moving. Timeouts remaining, 2 on each side.
Interestingly enough, because of the accuracy of Warren Moon, a misnomer where the run and shoot offense is concerned is that it's not a ball-controlled team. At the end of the season, they had nearly 31 minutes, which means that they averaged more per game in time of possession than their opponents.
39-yard line following the gain of 6, second down and 4. Moon comes back to the near side to Jeffries, who has it. The wide receivers on the opposite side looking back to Moon and patting on their right hip. Were they signaling to him that they had the double coverage there and it'd be single coverage on the left?
Yes, that's what they were signaling. It's interesting that they have that sort of communication. Inside, the responsibility goes to both Ernest Gibbons and Drew Hill there, because they have to communicate to the people on the outside, because in a crowd like this, certainly they can't hear what Warren Moon is saying. I wanted to make a point here with regards to Haywood Jeffries. We got on him a little bit for dropping those 2 passes earlier. Isn't it interesting that Warren Moon does not lose confidence in him? And now, in obviously the most significant drive of the game, where does he go to get the first down? Haywood Jeffries.
His century man, 100 catches during the regular season. As you saw, a gain of 5 and the first down. 3:13 time remaining in the ball game. Houston 24, Denver 23.
Now, the one thing that Warren Moon does not want to do, take a look at those numbers, 26 for 32. That is an impressive over 80%.
81%.
Now, what Kevin Gilbride is telling Warren Moon in this situation is that we cannot afford an incompletion, and incompletion stops the clock.
White is going to lose a yard. And it will be second down and 11.
Denver's taking a timeout here, which is smart, because right there, the game clock was even with the 45-second clock, and Houston could have got away with just letting it run down.
So Denver, as you saw, with 1 timeout remaining in the ballgame.
Because of what they're doing there, Charlie, now this forces, this sounds funny, this forces Houston to throw.
Play right into my strength, if you will, please.
So in other words, they just can't hand off to Lorenzo White, let the clock run down, kick a field goal, or punt it and put the pressure on the defense. Warren Moon is going to have to make some plays here to his wideouts, and again, really the pressure is on the defensive backs for the Denver Broncos.
Wade Phillips, defensive coordinator. His dad, of course, Bum, a former head coach of Houston. Now one of their broadcasters is here for the ball game.
This is all part of the chess game with Wade Phillips. He has to ask himself the question at this point, do I want to stay with a standard 4-man rush and see if the secondary can do the job, or do I want to blitz Warren Moon, take some chances, and knock them back?
The report on Mike Kroll, he's just had the wind knocked out of him, and he can come back in. Moon goes deep. There's some bumping inside of the 5. No flags. Incomplete. Jeffries, the intended receiver. And the Broncos secondary may have gotten away with one.
This entire game, we have been talking about how well what Warren Moon has done. Smart plays, heads-up plays, athletic plays. Why, oh, why are you throwing a post pattern with 2:35 left? Why aren't you throwing the short routes that Haywood Jeffries has been coming up with all day long? Ernest Gibbons underneath, Drew Hill underneath. Kevin Gilbride and Warren Moon are certainly going to be second guessed for that call.
And that does stop the clock with 2:36 remaining. Houston 5 of 7, third down conversion. Pass is complete, but it will be short of the first down. They'll mark it at the 32-yard line. It'll go for only 3.
Prior to the snap. Still third down.
There was movement prior to the snap. That is an automatic call. So it'll be third down and 16 on the false start. And that play is completely erased.
The only thing good for Houston there is now the clock has ticked down to where whatever this play is, assuming that it's not incomplete, we'll take it to the 2-minute warning. But what Houston has to concern itself with here at the 40-yard line is, can they get into field goal position? Not necessarily can they get the first down, because it's a little unrealistic to go 3rd and 16. If they can get a 10-yarder down to the 30-yard line, then they would be in Al Del Greco's field goal range, and that's something that both Kevin Gilbride and Warren Moon have to concern themselves with here.
Third and 16. Moon with all the time in the world. Now a flag is down. Pass is complete. It'll be 9 yards shy of the first down to Curtis Duncan, but a marker back at the 44 usually means against the offense. Clock now at 2:23.
3 times now during this drive, the clock has been stopped. It has only gone from around 2:54 down to 2:23 in the last 3 plays. Now, whether they take the play or not here, it's advantage Denver Broncos because the flag has stopped the clock. Now
And Houston stopping the clock themselves.
Now at the 34-yard line, here's an interesting point. If they refuse the penalty, that's a 51-yard field goal attempt.
Illegal hands to the face. 63, offense. Still third down.
Mike Munchak, and he has had a struggle today.
Well, for an all-pro player, this has certainly not been the best day of his career. We'll get a chance to see this right in the middle of your screen. Take a look at number 63. Right up front, you're going to see Fletcher coming. There's the hand to the face. Actually, that wasn't there it is.
There it is.
Right there on the face mask. He gets Greg Crading. Truthfully, I'm surprised that they took this penalty. If for no other reason than now this gives Houston a chance to run some more time off the clock. I would look for the Oilers here just to hand off to Lorenzo White, get down to the 2-minute warning.
Third and 26 they do. This is White on the draw to the 46-yard line. And now Denver stops the clock. They take their last timeout, stopping it at 2:15. What they did in reality, they saved 15 seconds. Denver has really worked the clock well. They have no more timeouts, but it being 4th down, they will have the ball on offense, feeling that Elway can control the clock that way.
Charlie, you know what? I hate to disagree with you. It's not so much that Denver has used the clock well, it's that Houston has worked it absolutely horribly here during this set. I mean, you have
I could agree with that, too.
You have the ball 1st and 10, 2:54 on the clock. Now you have it 4th down, and there's still 2:15 remaining. Anybody that knows anything about John Elway knows that he is a comeback kid.
And Greg Montgomery will be kicking. This is his first punt of the ball game, coming with 2:15. You saw Elway; he's ready to go. Vance Johnson is the return man. He told us yesterday he would rather fair catch. I don't think he will here. Let's see. The reason that he is returning, he has the best hands on the team. Here's pressure. He gets it off. Oh, a good kick. It's going to be down at the 2-yard line.
What a great kick by Montgomery. Look at how excited he is. There is a man who has not been able to do this. He hasn't been active the entire day. And there he comes in. Huge kick on the 2-yard line.
The drive, Cleveland. Elway, 98 yards. Can he do it again? He has 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Big difference here, however, is he does not have to go 98 yards. In this case, really, he only has to go about 68 to get in position for a Treadwell field goal.
Denver from the Denver 2, 1st down. And how ironic it might be if that happens. Treadwell, who missed the extra point, kicks the winning field goal. But first things first, from the shotgun and the end zone. And the pass is complete. Michael Young. A diving reception at the 24-yard line. 2-minute warning. We'll step aside for a minute. Don't miss this one. You gotta love it. A 1986 AFC Championship game. This was the tying touchdown. Elway to Mark Jackson with 39 seconds remaining. The Broncos went on to win it in overtime on a Rich Carlos field goal. And here they started at the 2, but as Todd mentioned, they need only to get to about the Houston 30-yard line for the field goal attempt. Houston 24, Denver 23. Elway from the shotgun. Lathan is chasing him. He gets it away, and he's throwing it away. It'll be second down.
They came with a lot of people there. They came with the strong safety, Bubba McDowell, Lamar Lathan, who ends up knocking him out of bounds on Al Smith from the middle. Now here's a big chess game where Jim Eddy is concerned. He can't afford the luxury of letting Elway sit in the pocket unencumbered because he's going to pick that secondary apart. He decided that time to come with some people, and it worked for him.
And remember, Denver does not have a timeout. Houston has 2. 1:52. Time remaining. The margin a point. Elway goes deep and he overthrows Vance Johnson.
Chris Dishman does a nice job on the coverage. He goes with the corner route. He has a man for man. That's funny. As I run back to the huddle, I just saw Chris Dishman pat Vance Johnson on the butt. He's running with him stride for stride. He knows he has some helps him to the inside. Now he cuts back. Only a throw like he had to Michael Young earlier could have snuck it in there, and I don't know what Vance Johnson's complaining about, because Dishman had excellent coverage.
It is third down and 10. Denver at their own 24-yard line. Looking into a Colorado sunset from the shotgun. The quick out, the pass is complete. Ricky Nattiel, and he is dropped immediately, way shy of the first down, 28-yard line.
Now what's difficult about this is that they're in the 2-minute situation. It's a fourth down. They do not have another timeout, I don't believe, so this will be interesting.
And Michael Young is the injured player at the 40-yard line. There may be a penalty.
By rule, always drop it for a 10-second runoff.
If you can hear Bobby Greer, he's telling us right here that there's a 10-second runoff.
That is by rule. When you have, after you've used all of your timeouts, if you're in this particular time situation on the clock, any injury, regardless of whether it's faking, whether it is real, the official will stand over the clock, let 10 seconds run off before the next play.
But here is what the benefit is to the Denver Broncos. Because they were in the hurry-up on 4th down and 6, the most crucial play of the game, Elway was going to have to audible that at the line of scrimmage. Now, because of the injury to Michael Young, they get back in the huddle, they regroup, they get exactly the personnel that they want, and they can call exactly the play that they want.
4th down and 6. And was it not 4th down and 4 that Denver was successful in this ball game?
That man right there waiting for his turn for redemption. Earlier, as you mentioned, hooking that extra point.
Can Denver do it twice in the same ball game, converting on 4th down? This is 4th and 6, a minute 38 left. And that throw, you may recall, was to this man who is being helped off, Michael Young. It was a perfect pass right down the right sideline.
You're going to have people spread out all over the field. What about the possibility of John Elway, one of the 2 or 3 best running quarterbacks in the National Football League, going with the quarterback draw?
Not a bad choice. They have to let the 10
And they have
seconds
to wait
run
the 10
off.
seconds go down.
And then the umpire, who the center can see when he drops his hand, then the ball can be snapped. There it is, hand down, ball can be snapped. Elway's going to throw. Has pressure from the backside, scrambles out left. He's running for it. He's got it. Elway does it again. Oh, you gotta love it.
John, it's funny to see the reaction of Dan Reeves. He's seen this so many times before. If you remember the graphic we had earlier, 18 come from behind wins in the fourth quarter for John Elway and the Denver Broncos. He's seen it before. It's got to be frustrating to the Houston Oilers defense, who did everything right, but John Elway's athleticism overcame the right defense.
Sixth time in the ball game that Elway has rushed, total 39 yards. Pass is tipped incomplete. That stops the clock, 1:14. And it is second down and 10.
Once again, the Houston Oilers came with the blitz. Both Darrell Lewis and Bubba McDowell came off the corner. Take a look at number 29. Darrell Lewis is going to come off the near corner, get in his face, and as a result, they bat the pass down. Oh, we're not going to have time for the replay.
Jeff Alm, who was there.
Here it comes. Here comes Darrell Lewis jumping up, but it's Jeff Alm in the middle.
And he is pushed down by Chuck Wyche. And there are no flags. Alm now has come out, and he has been replaced to the line.
That's interesting because they don't want any stupid mistakes at this point. No arguments, no pulling of the face mask. They got him right out of the game.
Second and 10 from the shotgun. Elway goes deep, and it is incomplete. He overthrows everybody. Derek Russell, the closest receiver. And it's going to be third down and 10, back at the 35-yard line.
Once again, Jim Eddy doing an excellent job of mixing up the defensive coverages. One time he comes with 6, this time he comes with 4. It's a bit of a chess game here between John Elway and Jim Eddy. What do you come up with in this situation? And last time they had third and 10, Jim Eddy made the right call. That man is frustrated. He would like to be out there simply because of the fact that he wants to have some control over what's happening on the field. Now he doesn't.
And remember, Houston leads by 1, 24-23, 1 minute and 8 seconds left. The field goal kicker for Denver, David Treadwell. Third down and 10. Backside pressure, Elway steps away, throws back, has a man, and it is incomplete. Vance Johnson was coming back to help him, and that pass from Elway across the field and about 50 yards in the air is unbelievable.
Similar to a pass he made earlier against the Kansas City Chiefs. Certainly there's a lot of argument by the crowd, but take a look what's going to happen at the end of this play. Lamar Lathan, as we mentioned, a fast linebacker, has him in his tracks. What an athletic play here to break and to avoid him. Push him off. Now at the end of the play, you're going to see Richard Johnson just cream Vance Johnson, but the ball is so far beyond. Good call by the back judge. This was not a catchable football.
And what had happened is Johnson had broken off his route to try and come back to Elway, and Elway threw it where he was. Houston takes a timeout. They stop the clock, 59 seconds.
I'm not sure I like that. I know what
Fourth
they're trying
down
to
and
do.
10, they want to regroup.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but you've got John Elway reeling. You got him thrown off his back foot. You don't want to give him the chance to come over and think about it, relax, get his composure.
But you only have to stop them one play. From Houston's standpoint, if they stop Elway and the Broncos on this play, they win. Why take a chance? 59 seconds left. Put it all together, make sure everybody knows what you're doing. The whole season is this one play for Houston. Now, do you blitz? Do you put the pressure on?
4th and 10, I don't think so. What you do in this situation is you rush with 4, you bracket Vance Johnson. I can't see from here if Michael Young is back in the game, but if he is back in the game, he's been their clutch 3rd and 4th down receiver. Single cover the rookie Derek Russell, but make sure that you have Vance Johnson and Steve Sewell covered.
And remember, Denver has converted on 4th and 4, and they have converted on 4th and 6, and now it is 4th and 10. Barry Johnson goes wide to the far side. 3 wide receivers on the near side.
But only 2 corners, Charlie.
Elway scrambles, throws, has a man. They've got it. It's Johnson down the sideline. He is within field goal range. It doesn't get any better. Oh, I love it. 44 yards on 4th and 10.
Once John Elway breaks contain, he puts the pressure on the secondary to make a decision. Watch the man covering Vance Johnson. Do you stay with him or do you come up? He comes up to go after Elway. A bad decision. The reason it is even if Elway runs for the first down, the clock keeps going.
And here is Sewell to the 11-yard line. No timeouts remaining for Denver. Clock continues to move.
But John Elway has the composure. He's looking around. He knows all he has to do is get his people up to the line of scrimmage and spike the ball.
It'll be a first down at the 11-yard line. And he spikes it. Now 20 seconds remaining. Will Elway take a shot at the end zone, or they want to kick it now?
Absolutely not. They're huddled over there right now. They're going to kick it.
They're going to kick it now. A lot of things could go wrong. Why take any chances? You got to hear. Let's see now if David Treadwell can do it.
Now this is interesting. A couple of Super Bowls ago, I remember when Cliff Harris came out and said something to Roy Girella, and that's exactly what Dishman is doing. Look at Dishman in the huddle. Look at number 28. He was saying something to Treadwell right there. He was trying to psych him out. Now, when they come up to the line of scrimmage, are the Houston Oilers going to call a timeout and try to freeze him out?
I would think so. 28 yards.
There they are. That's exactly right.
And they will. Sure. 20 seconds left. Woo. Remember the drive? They did it in Cleveland.
Look at that baby face. Look at that baby face. What's going through that young man's mind right now? It's a chance for redemption. The entire season rests on this one kick. One thing that I should mention here, Charlie, soccer-style kickers who have the natural hook prefer the left hash. Now to the right hash, it could be a little bit more difficult. I find it interesting as we take a look at number 72, Keith Karts. Because of the snap problems earlier by Wydell, even though Karts hasn't played, he is coming into the game to be the snapper. What he is explaining to the referee right now is he's saying, look, right now it is second down. If I fumble the snap, I can come up here, and then we can get up to the line of scrimmage, spike the ball, and still kick another field goal. That's what he's trying to explain to Bobby Greer. Treadwell inside the 30-yard line this season has been perfect. 15 of 15.
28 yards away. Low snap. He gets it off. It's good. Kubiak this time scrambled with the hands and set it up. 16 seconds remain. 26-24 Denver.
Great job by Gary Kubiak. Another bad snap on the hop. He gets it up just in time. Treadwell makes the adjustment. Thank you, Gary Kubiak. Thank you for saving me with that, with your great hands. Otherwise, Treadwell already in his motion, as you notice. Watch David Treadwell already in his motion. He can't adjust. He's got to go through. At the last 10th of a second, Kubiak able to get it up. Treadwell hammers it through. The Broncos are ecstatic.
The drive. Hart 2.
That man did everything he could conceivably do to help this team win his football game. And if you've seen Warren Moon in the past, you know he is not an emotional individual. This one really has to hurt.
Coleman from the 6-yard line. And he goes out of bounds to stop the clock at the 20-yard line. Houston with 12 seconds remaining in the season, trailing by 2.
What a shock to this Houston team. Up 21-6 in the first quarter. Everything going their way. We talk all the time about strange things happening in this place. That is exactly what has happened to that team right there. Look at the beleaguered looks on their faces. They thought in the first half that it was their game for the taking, and for all intents and purposes it was. But once you have somebody like number 7 on your side, John Elway, who can make magic happen, they're never out of a game.
Houston needs 50 yards in 11 seconds to try a field goal attempt. Moon's pass to Givens. He goes out about 7 seconds. He's out at the 36-yard line for Denver. The drive, part 2, 11 plays, 87 yards. It consumed 1 minute, 51 seconds. It led to the 28-yard field goal.
Now, just for the sake of reference here, if they in 6 seconds can get that exact same route, they get the exact same route to Givens here in 6 seconds, they can kick about a 55-yard field goal. And in this altitude, you never know.
Del Greco against the Jets at a 53-yarder.
I think they're going to run the exact same route to the other side.
One second left.
What a bitter pill for this team to swallow. They proved that they could play outdoors. They proved that the elements had nothing to do with it. They took on the home field advantage. They did everything. They spent it all out there. If you want to run the gamut of emotions, see the faces on the Houston Oilers and see the faces for the Denver Broncos.
1 second left. It's over. Denver wins 26-24.
So many times, but did you believe that you guys would be in a position to get a chance to win this game?
I tell you what, we were chasing all day long. I just hoped that we had one chance to win it at the end of the game. The defense did a great job, and gave us a chance. It was on the one, but we were just glad we had a chance. And boy, I tell you what, everybody just played their tail off. We got the job done.
And that last drive, you had 2 fourth downs. Both of them were broken plays. Can you tell me what happened?
Well, they got some good pressure, and I knew on 4th down I wanted to try to get out and scramble, make something happen. And fortunately, there was some room for me to run on the first one. The second one, they covered me pretty good. Vance Johnson turned up the field, and I was able to get him the ball.
Now, tell me the difference between this team and teams in the past. No one thought you'd be here this time of the year.
I tell you what, our defense has played great all year, and they've really kept us in every football game. They struggled a little bit today, and I'm just thankful that the offense could pick it up and really score some points because the Oilers were moving the heck out of the ball, and we just came back to offense and got it done.
What about Buffalo next week?
We're looking forward to it, but I hope the Chiefs win.
Back to you. Up to you, Charlie.
And, of course, if the Chiefs win, then that game, the championship game, would be played here. If Buffalo wins, Denver will be at Buffalo. 4th down and 10 in the pass to that man that you saw for a moment, Vance Johnson and Warren Moon. walking into the locker room for the last time this season.
I couldn't help but think as you watch Vance Johnson get picked up and Warren Moon walking off, heroes ride and losers walk. It's a shame.
We'll be back.
Wow, what a brilliant game. Can't help but think, though, it's controlling the clock. If you remember back with just under 2 minutes left, Denver Broncos player went down, faked an injury, perhaps. The clock stopped, they just had 10 seconds run off it. They used the clock very well. Other side of the field, the Houston Oilers, abysmal use of the clock and timeouts. Don't you agree?
Yeah, well, I think that the timeouts that Houston took helped Denver have a chance to win the ball game. And then, of course, there were 2 fourth down key plays, 4th and 6 that they converted, and then the 4th and 10, the big catch by Vance Johnson that put him into field goal range. And then they wound the clock on down with only 1 timeout remaining, or no timeouts remaining for the Houston Oilers.
And that, you know, if they had had 1 more timeout, they have 1 more play. And in fact, Warren Moon, who had a great game, the last play, he actually threw it out of bounds. I mean, no one could have even made a play. Enough of that. You win the $5.
And pay up right now. I don't trust you. Well,
what do you think? What's next? I mean, Denver Broncos, we've seen them go to Super Bowls before and get blown out. They're going to either meet the Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills. They had the 5th place finish schedule. They finished 12-4. They didn't look like the better team today, but they found a way to win. Are we going to see the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl again?
Well, I think it's possible, I tell you, but it does do one thing for all those teams that didn't do well this year. It shows that a team can have a poor year record-wise, come back the very next year and be in the heat of it at the very end. The one thing that this team has done, though, they've said to themselves in the offseason, we're not going to repeat the 5-11 they had a year ago. They were going to be right back into it. I think that what John Elway said at the end is very important. He says he hopes Kansas City wins. That's not a knock on anybody. That just means I want to play back here in Mile High Stadium because I think that that was a factor in the game as well, that crowd, that noise.
Well, it was a great game, and a lot of people say no way Kansas City can beat them. Week 6. They beat them and beat them good. They ran the ball, and they ran it well on the Buffalo Bills. It should be a great game, and that is our main game tomorrow. So we've got that to look forward to.